like King James.
Sounds like it is straight from the motherfucking cassette.
I hate when you get to a point in your career where people feel like they got you figured out and there's no more surprises. I like people to press play on my stuff and still be surprised.
Turn it up, baby. No introduction necessary, yo. Hey, yo. Okay. Hey, yo. Son.
Two, one.
Boys, what's going on today, everybody? Welcome back to the Dusttin Bowerman Show on this Fuck It Friday, February 26th. in this. It's week 8 of the Dusttin Bowerman Show's over. We're done with 2 months, boys. We made it 2 months. We're like celebrating every fucking like small, thing these days, bro. It's actually crazy that we've actually made it 2 months, heading on to the 3-month mark, guys. I mean,
March.
it's heading into March. Heading into March because I guess we did start at the beginning of the month in January, right? January 4th, right? So it's been 2 whole months. Myself, Anthony, and Max are here today to go over news, some information that we're going to talk about. Hopefully the internet doesn't absolutely shit itself like it has been yesterday and the day that was happening, bro. I don't know. I need to hit up my Cox guy to figure out what the fuck is going on, man. Anyway, regardless, we have some stuff to talk about. Listen, it's fucking Friday, so we're going to take it easy. You know what I'm saying? We're going to take it a little bit relaxed today, take a little bit of a slower approach. You know what I'm saying? Take it inch by inch. You know what I'm saying? So, first of all, I mean, obviously, it's coming on the weekend, and Super Week is finishing for call. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting in itself. LEC is going on. That's some stuff going down, so we'll talk about that as well in a little bit. However, the biggest thing in the biggest news with LEC specifically is number one topic today, which is Rogue tweeting about LEC's team Shalke. I think it was Shalke. Was Shalke? I think it was, right? Shalke. Shalke was losing their LEC spot, basically. So we'll talk about that as topic number one. Then Nadeshot is apparently getting a tattoo now after a massive social craze has taken Twitter by storm. So now he's getting a tattoo. A League of Legends pro admits to match fixing. So we'll talk about that later and talk about match fixing because it seems like, like I mentioned, like we haven't had as many cheater cases, honestly, which is good. I'm glad. But match fixing is up there. We'll talk about that. We'll maybe talk about Power's match fixing scandal, talk about match fixing as a whole. And then Max has some stuff on Pokemon Presents, which I didn't see, but maybe he'll give us a little bit of insight on that in itself. And then also, FaZe's vice president has leaked the fact they're getting a Rocket League team, boys. Oh, my fucking God. Wow. FaZe up, man. FaZe up in Rocket League. That's happening. And then Real Madrid, Case Miro claims that Counter-Strikes makes him more nervous than football. So maybe we'll talk about how our nerves kind of have to play parts in competitive games. Maybe I can give my POV on playing professional games and seeing how that's kind of made my performance is better or worse or whatever. We'll talk about that later. Maybe the effects that caffeine has on you as well to increase said anxiety and stuff like that, and nervousness. And then after all of that, at 4 p.m. PST, we're going to have your boy, DotaCapitalist or Cap or the Capitalist or whatever else you want to call him. He'll be on the show later today. Dota 2 caster and a guy whose hair product and hair regime I tried to copy years back, actually. And he apparently saw the tweet that I sent him. So we'll talk to him later today, see what he has to say about Dota scene, about what he's doing, about his voice acting and stuff like that. Because we talked before the show, myself and Max did at least, and I showed Anthony. We've been trying to do some voice acting lessons, right? We've been trying to get good at voice acting. That is apparently our current, my current passion. I don't know about Max, but we try to do our best Steve Blum impersonation, which I don't know if it went well.
Might get to hear.
What? What'd you say?
You might get to hear yours.
Hey, might
Not mine.
get to hear. What? Not yours? You don't want to do a Steve Blum pronunciation for us?
That hurts the throat.
Don't play the clip. Don't play the clip, Daniel. Daniel's asking to play the clip. I'm not. If anything, I'm gonna do it live on the broadcast. But I found so with Steve Blum's voice, you have to go so deep. You have to kind of talk with no inflection at all. It's really weird. It's really weird. So it's I don't know.
You got to go all the way in the back of your throat, dude.
You have to go, oh my God.
I don't know how he does it.
You have to go all the way back, and you have to also sit so close to the microphone, which also, I don't know. Anyway, that's basically, I don't know if we should do it, dude. Anyways, first topic of the day, boys. Obviously, this one was interesting because this came up to me, to my attention before the show. There was some stuff so yesterday, as you guys know, this was kind of a small topic that we talked about, but it was still a topic. Schalke 04, or Schalke 04, a.k.a. the LEC, League of Legends European scenes League of Legends team, basically. This team is a football team that owns a League of Legends team, basically, right? And they said that they need to cut back and probably remove. Oh my God, the tweet is removed as well. Now as we talk about it, holy shit. Just as we talk about, Rogue's tweet is removed after I said it's probably a good idea to delete this. Holy shit. I need to actually pull it up then so I can see the exact tweets and everything. Because that's actually crazy that that happened. Holy shit. But basically right before the show. And they didn't tweet it yet, by the way. Let me see if I can like post it in our chat so you guys can see. I can't because I'm stupid. Anyways, regardless, what happened was Rogue tweeted after beating Schalke 04, which was the team that I said is probably going to sell and most likely has to sell their LCS team or LEC team, sorry, because of the fact that their football team isn't really staying afloat right now, right? Their football team and COVID issues and whatever else they want to say. But they were very transparent, right? Schalke 04 was very, very transparent with us. We talked about this yesterday and the fact that they've pretty much said, hey, guys, this is going to be incredibly hard where we're going to have to sell and liquidate our team to make money so that we can stay afloat as a company, is what they basically said. And Rogue, after beating them today, which was right afterwards, then tweeted, looks like the football team has already cut their spending. And then they fucking said hashtag LEC or whatever, Rogue win, right? And they were very happy about that tweet, right? They were like, okay, this is a good tweet, right? But it is, in fact, not probably a good tweet at all. Listen, I've made some poor choices in my tweets in the past. Like I've said, I've gotten fined $500 in the past for a tweet I've made. But this tweet in itself, pretty much talking about how another team can't financially stay in the LEC and making a joke about how their team has already pulled the plug when, like, I don't know, 10 or 15 people or more, whoever many people work for Schalke, are losing their jobs to tweet that shit afterwards, man. Like that is fucked, dude. That is fucked. And well, that's also shown because the social media guy that works for Schalke immediately tweeted out about this afterwards, where he was saying like, imagine doing all this or whatever. I want to find the actual tweet. Okay, so he said he deleted this tweet afterwards, by the way. But he said, imagine tweeting when you're only successful because you're able to spend 6 times as much on player salaries and being a part of the exact same problem as most LCS teams while getting 2 to 4K views on YouTube channel while literally having 0 sponsors. And this came after Rogue beat Schalke in the LEC, basically. So he deleted his tweet, by the way. This guy that tweeted that, the social media manager for Schalke, deletes that tweet because he knows he's losing his job, right? This guy knows he's losing his job, so he's probably in a very bad mental, right? Like, this dude's in a pretty bad mental because, first of all, he's still working for them. Like, he's still tweeting for Schalke's Twitter, and he's still talking for them or whatever and being the public-facing, like, representation. But he knows he's losing his job, right, in the situation. So it's like a kind of weird situation, man. And then he deleted his tweet. And then Rogue, after, I guess, some backlash now, I just learned, because it wasn't deleted by the time the show started, by the way. But now I just learned that I tried opening the tweet and it said tweet unavailable. So the tweet is literally no longer available after them tweeting this. And you may think like, oh, why are you so soft, man? Why are you so soft? And it's just like, in this situation, you're maybe right. However, this is like a personal attack, in my opinion. This is kind of like a personal debacle. And I asked Max and Anthony before the show. I debated this, right? Because, like we mentioned with Samito yesterday, I've had these issues and he's had these issues where sometimes you push things too far, right? Sometimes you go over the personal line, right? And you're wondering, what is this personal line? Why does it matter, right? That was the debate that we had. Like, what is this personal line, right? It's, I think, funny to go into trash talk and to banter or whatever. Trash talk and stuff like that is just fine. I'm all for it, right? But there's a line that I think most people can't cross, right? That you can't cross because of the fact that it's either a personal attack or something else like a financial attack or something that's not related to what the game is, what Max said, right? So that was the situation that happened with this LEC team, is that they kind of went into a financial debacle. And they kind of took about that approach where it was just not really the right thing to say. And that was kind of the reason we're bringing it up today, is because I've even made those mistakes before in the past. Everybody makes these mistakes. So I don't think we can, like, harp on Rogue too much. We can just call them out for this specific mistake that was pretty fucking, like, bad. Like, it's just not It just wasn't good, man. It's just like another professional esports team talking about the financial situation of another esports team, another professional esports team in the same league, technically working on the same goal, right? That's just not a good look. And I guess it's the social media guy. It's not actually Rogue themselves, right? But this is crossing the line, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys. This is crossing the line when you bring up, finances and money and all that kind of stuff.
There should be some kind of like salary cap or some kind of system there, but
I think they have like a soft salary cap, but I don't know. There's none of that's public knowledge.
Why is it not? I don't get it. But this is he's just trashing on them right after Rogue already won in their LEC match.
Yeah,
this
was supposed to be some sort of like lighthearted banter, but it just was not. Basically, it was not at all lighthearted banner.
Going too
far. It's the exact opposite.
These people are gonna be gone, not even to their own fault.
No, they're fucking dunzo, Chief. They're out of the goddamn league, right? Or they will be. I mean, just to make money, and they're not gonna have. Maybe they'll find jobs other places, but the job market is thin, brother. The job market is fucking thin. You think you can get a job after something like this? Like, it's not like even their fault necessarily, but I imagine social media jobs are some of the most wanted jobs right now because I don't think you need too much like prerequisites to be a social media like person or like tweet or whatever. You just need to kind of know memes and be able to tweet or whatever and stuff like that. Like, it's not to say the job isn't hard or anything like that. It's just a lot of people are trying to get those jobs, right? It's like a very oversaturated market for people trying to get into social media and stuff like that, right? So it's a very oversaturated market. So I can't imagine these people can get jobs very easily. And just getting a rub.
I was thinking more about like the players and the coaches and stuff. I wasn't even thinking
players
about
and coaches,
the guy behind Schalke's Twitter.
That's what I'm saying. It's like literally everybody in this situation. It's not just the players or coaches or, like you mentioned, the staff or whoever else. Like, it's like literally the entire organization is just blowing up in front of our very eyes, and that's really due to no fault of those players themselves, right? It's not
just
their
the
fault.
Soccer players.
Yeah, it's because the fucking football team, the actual soccer team, can't afford to stay afloat without selling their LEC team, right? Because that's their main income, I suppose.
Yeah. Is that common in the LEC? They're backed by like a soccer team?
No, I think it's happened before, and I don't know if it's with other teams. Like, a lot of people find, at least with like the financial burden in these LES teams, LCS, Overwatch League, a lot of these teams are forced to kind of go back and to look for outside sponsorship opportunities and look for outside help, basically, and financial support is what a lot of these teams do. So, like, you know how like NRG, for example, they have Shaq, right? They have some other organizations that are trying to pull in sponsors from I think it's called the endemic world, right? The endemic world. So they're trying to pull in sponsors from outside their scenes and more in traditional sports or whatever. And that's how they get much of their money, because a lot of these people don't have the actual backing themselves to afford an esports team, right? In the modern era, because teams are getting more and more expensive. And the return on investment is really not that much right now, honestly. Like, we talked about this before. Return on investment for esports team is not high at all. Like, I bet the same team, this is kind of going back, this is a little bit of this is stooping to Rogue's territory, but we're not an actual esports team, so I can kind of talk about it. Rogue probably isn't making their money back, like, at all. Like, they're probably just in the red, and it will probably stay in the red. I don't know for how long. Like, like he mentioned, the team does not have. They have a couple sponsors, I think, but they don't have any major sponsors. They don't have any major backing. They don't have a lot of the stuff that is almost required for esports teams nowadays, right? They're probably still in the red. Like, LEC teams are great and all, but they're probably not that profitable, right? They're probably not that profitable. So I can't imagine Rogue is even in the green themselves talking about this, right? I bet Rogue themselves know their own financial situation is not that good, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't have deleted the tweet. Otherwise, they would have stuck with it probably. But they realized after deleting the tweet, they're like, oh, shit, we're also a shit organization, right? Like, we should not be talking shit, probably.
I don't know. Maybe it's someone higher up from LEC is like, you can't be doing that. Or maybe even from their Rogues or own organization.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean.
They're just coming to their social media guy and be like,
don't tweet that. Delete that shit, dude. Yeah, because that's way too much. I don't know. Like, I don't want to oust Rogue for anything right here. Like, I don't think that that's necessarily right. But from what it looks like at their organization and from what it looks like from their standpoints in terms of their net worth or whatever, like they're probably not doing that hot. Like they're just not. I don't like Rogue is not considered one of the top organizations in the entire world, right? If you look at the top organizations in the world, TSM, G2, Cloud9, whoever else you want to fucking FaZe, Optic Gaming, some of these organizations are actually some of the best organizations in all of esports in terms of their look and stuff like that. Like Rogue is probably on the level of like CLG, right? Or maybe even a little worse because they're newer. CLG's been around for less time. Rogue is still one of the newer organizations. And their own issues are not necessarily public, but are pretty obvious in the fact that they're really not that popular of an organization. So I don't really think they're any right to talk shit here to Shalke. Especially in this financial debacle. Like this is kind of like a personal attack almost that like we were talking about.
Yeah. But, I mean, just looking at their box scores here, they're like number 1 in LEC though. They have some right to brag.
I mean, guess so. I mean, but at the same time, can you go on and talk about how another team is literally just worse than you because of their financial situation is what you said pretty much?
That's true.
They said they looks like they pulled the plug mid-match or something like that or whatever. It's like, fucking hell, dude. Fucking hell. They have one good LEC season and are talking shit like this, dude. Oh my fucking God, man.
Meanwhile,
oh my fucking God.
Paying their guys, I guess, 6 times as much.
Yeah. Well, this is like the chemical situation. This is like the chemical situation we talked about. Like Chemicals is on a good team and he's an up-and-coming new player, and now he's like talking shit. It's like, bro, you ain't even been around here, son. You ain't even been around here, boy. I don't know. I think it's kind of funny. I think it's kind of funny.
It'd be great if one of the Schalke players turns out to like have a comeback in another team, maybe.
Oh yeah.
And Rogue wants him, and he just turns him down.
Oh no, I doubt it. I doubt that would have happened in the first place. Maybe. I mean, there's 5 players on this team. They're in the LEC. Probably at least 1 or 2 of them will probably find LEC teams again, I imagine. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know too much about anything there.
I don't know. Anthony, I think it's your topic, my dude.
Yeah, anyway, speaking of tweets, we got Nadeshot possibly getting a tattoo because of Frost asking Nadeshot on Twitter how many retweets for him to get sex is temporary, but gaming is forever tattooed on him. I don't know where it's going to be tattooed on him. I'm hoping it's like right across the chest or something.
Oh, God.
Nadeshot responds with 100K, and it was just over an hour, and then the tweet already had 100K retweets on it. Yeah. I mean, like, that's pretty great. I would do it. I wouldn't do it. Would you do it?
What? 100K retweets for a tattoo?
It's at 250K right now.
I would definitely do that. What do you mean? I would definitely do that, bro. Dude, you kidding me? You wouldn't do that?
Sex is temporary. Gaming is forever.
For 100,000 retweets?
Yeah. Would you do it?
For indirect, I would definitely do that because the amount of fucking coverage that would get, the amount of coverage, hey, fuck it, man. Why not? Well, why would you not do that, dude? Like that directly translates into money, Anthony. You realize that, right?
That's true. For you, it would be big, but for Nadeshot, everyone knows Nadeshot already. What?
Yeah, he's already pretty well known.
That's what I know, but I'm saying that it just gives him more good publicity towards his organization, right?
Good publicity?
I think so. I mean, so.
So as they say, any publicity is good publicity.
Exactly. Any publicity is good publicity.
It's just such a meme.
What do you mean, dude? Like, I mean, I know. But
so you have this tattoo, but it's forever.
Yeah. Forever is how long? 50 years until you die? That's not forever. When you're dead, your tattoo's gone too, isn't it?
Yeah. For you, it's
You're
forever.
Not wrong.
And who's to say that he can't get it removed?
Okay,
after about a year?
That's just against the spirit of the whole situation, you know?
What do you mean? He gets the tattoo a year down the line when everybody forgets about it. He then gets it removed. Like,
no, then some reporter is going to be like, "You still have that?" And if he outs himself, then that's terrible.
No, and that's more publicity, right? Then that's more publicity on the scenario again.
That's negative publicity. Any
publicity is good publicity. I mean, why not?
I disagree.
Why not, dude? Dog shit tattoo 100K retweets? That would never happen. That would never happen. Why not? Because we would never. That would never happen. That would never happen. If it could happen, then maybe, but that would never happen.
Most importantly is, would you?
I mean, yes, obviously I would, but
right.
that would never happen.
Right.
So
we'll see how this goes.
No, it'll never go. I don't know what you're talking about.
I have some ideas in my head now.
It'll never happen. Getting a dog shit tattoo, that would never happen. I don't know.
Right across the back.
It'd be cool if I put like your dog shit or something like that on it. That'd be funny.
No. Just straight up dog shit. And it's gonna be like it's gonna be a.
It'll be like right over my ass crack or something like that. It'll be like.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be like we're gonna form your butt as a dog's butt, and then the rest of the dog goes up to your lower back.
What do you mean, an entire dog?
Yeah.
No,
so it'll be like
that's terrible.
You are the dog.
That's terrible. Why would you ever get a tattoo that big? That's awful.
Or 100,000 retweets.
Yeah, all Nadeshot's got to do is get fucking tiny little words on his wrist or some shit like that, and just write fucking.
Yeah, but he's already famous. If you want to be famous, you got to put in the big wrist.
No, I don't. That's like fucking anything for views. They got to poke he got a PewDiePie tattoo on his butt. He's on his butt.
You wouldn't do that for 100,000. You get a bro fist on your.
No, stick to the dog shit idea if you're gonna do it, but that's never gonna happen, right? That's never gonna. But it did happen, right? So now Nadeshot does have to get that tattoo, and he did say, right? He did say that he could get the tattoo anywhere on his body besides his face. So
I guess he could just hide it.
What if he put it right over his dick? Like, what if he just put it on his like fucking like right like
that would be a good meme.
Like it's like
I don't know how he's gonna show it off, but that'd be a good meme.
You know how it's like people like get like the arrow tattoos pointing down or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Lanny strip.
I'm not a fan of those.
But that's what I'm saying.
Squirrel that's like eating the nuts or something.
So where should he put his tattoo then? In your guys' opinion, where should he put the tattoo? I'm saying I think he should put it right like below the belly button. You know what I'm saying? Like that area.
No, but if he gets it on it, then he just never has to show anyone, because then it'd be sexual harassment to ask to see it.
Wait, true, but that would be incredibly painful.
Oh.
I can't imagine. I don't think those tattoos would stay. By the way, I'm pretty sure if you got a tattooed on your dick, it would like fall off or something like that. I think that's what happens.
Does it? I don't think that's the case.
No, it is. It's like I heard that about finger tattoos. If you get like finger tattoos, like they fall off usually, like a lot of the time, because your skin sheds or something like that. There's not enough like. I don't know what the exact science is behind it. It's just like some tattoos like that they wear off easily, right? So I think that a dick tattoo, especially if you're jerking off a lot, like that would just come off after a couple times, you know? What?
I guess so.
Think about it.
I mean, it makes sense.
Think about it. So where would you get his tattoo?
Skin sheds there, but
so where would you get your sex is temporary but gaming is forever? Where would you get that tattoo?
Just do a Joker.
Do it on your forehead?
Right on the forehead.
He said not on his face, though. Not his face. So that would be a good idea.
For 1 million retweets, he better do it on his forehead.
Fucking hell, dude. No way. All right, where would you get it? Actually, though, no face, Max. Serious answer.
No face. Serious?
Serious.
I mean, if I was actually going to get this tattoo, it would probably be, I don't know, on the back.
Yeah, I was thinking the back or something like. But that's even worse. Imagine if you're at the pool and you have your shirt off and like somebody's like, "Look," you don't even know they're laughing at you.
You don't even have to face them.
No, but that's just even more embarrassing. Like the idea
I think
of
it's
somebody
better than the
laughing
front,
at it.
though.
Then
what
you
about
can
like
watch
your thigh?
them.
What about like your thigh or something?
Thigh?
Like that? Yeah. I don't. The thing is, I think we're trying to make it the most embarrassing for him, because Frost said that, or Nadeshot said that he can put it anywhere that he can choose. I think where he wants it, but not his face is what he said. I think. I don't think any of us have tattoos.
I think it's more embarrassing on the front. Yeah, I want one. I've thought about it. Since like high school, the same exact one all this time, and
What tattoo? What would it be?
It's been the same thought in my mind since then. It's just been a yin yang dragon type thing.
Oh, okay. It's like a whole like arm tattoo or something like that, or is it like a small thing?
Right on the back.
Oh, okay. All right. It's fair. That's cool. But not a sex is temporary fucking.
No. I would never get this. I would never fucking get this.
Do you agree with the statement?
What?
Of course.
Sex is temporary, gaming is forever.
Well, no.
It's just true.
It's not true. This is not true. This is obviously.
Which part of it? Is it the first part or the second part isn't true?
Well, the thing is, I think sex would last longer than gaming, right? If you think about it. If you think about it, like,
Wow.
in terms of human society as a whole, right? If you think about progression, right? If World War III happened, right? Imagine if all internet is dead, right? On the entire fucking planet. No internet, but there's a couple of humans still alive. Guess what? Gaming doesn't exist anymore. Hey, but sex is still there because you have to reproduce and you have to extend human life and human fucking, civilization, right? So, gaming is more temporary than sex, if you think about it.
Gaming isn't just video games, man. It's a way of life.
So you think like in just board games or whatever, stuff like that?
Yeah, I guess so.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
Daniel brings up a good idea. Just have it in like Chinese characters. It kind of looks badass.
I think that was Samantha.
Unless
that
you go
said
to
that.
China.
What is that? Who? She just linked. I don't eat meat, but me bite. Whose tattoo is that? Whose tattoo is that, dude? What the hell? Anyway, I don't know. What the fuck? I think for Nadeshot, to make it the most embarrassing for him, I think you just got to put it across his chest. I think across his chest or above the pelvic region, right? Like those two areas, I think would be hilarious. Quick, just say one. Say one the most embarrassing possible for him, Anthony.
I got nothing.
You got to say one spot on the body. Is it that fucking hard?
Oh, listen, man. You shot down the idea. I think on the dick is best.
Okay. All right. So we could say on the dick. We'll leave it at on the dick. Max, what'd you say for most embarrassing for him? You want it on the you don't not the back, right?
I mean, no, the tramp stamps are pretty embarrassing.
Tramp stamps will put it right over his ass crack or something like that, just on like his
Yeah,
tailbone.
right there.
All right. That's fucking Nadeshot's tattoo, dude. That was a long conversation.
We'll see.
Oh god, poor Nadeshot, dude. You can't feel too bad for him, right? You can't
Wait,
feel too bad.
Do you
for him.
want a tattoo ever?
I mean, probably. I would want the only area I'd want a tattoo is something that would be potentially ruining of my career outside of esports and gaming, right? It'd be like a forearm tattoo or something like that, right? But like, I don't know that. Like, I wanted it to include something that like was along because, like I said, my original like name in Roblox and like in RuneScape was DB111111 with 10 ones. So I wanted to include that somehow. And then I've always thought like RuneScape like armor is like badass. So I'd just like do something with like RuneScape armor or something like that. I don't know how I'd throw Dogman in there. I just don't feel like I'm that attached to Dogman in terms of how it'd be cool, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah, I don't know. Do it all in binary up front. That'd be cool. Hey, that would be fucking sick. But
You'd
that
be
probably
like the
won't happen.
guy.
I probably would not do it
goes
until
to-
I would not do it until COVID's over because, obviously I don't want to like
Yeah,
go to a fucking
fair
tattoo parlor or something like that during COVID. Like, I don't know.
Are you gonna have like DB111 and like everyone's when you go to like parties or something and I don't know somehow get to Roblox, be like, oh,
Well,
that's my
includes-
name.
I would
Look me
I
up.
would say RuneScape first. I would say RuneScape first. 'Cause at least RuneScape's cool. Roblox is that's not necessarily cool. You know what I'm saying? People even found my Roblox profile and they like were laughing at it. I haven't changed anything, by the way, from it, so it's still pretty fucking shit. It's still like the same old. It's just embarrassing, dude. I have the old fucking like cringy fucking about me area and stuff like that. Like all of that shit's still there. Dude.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not gonna remove it. I don't care. Whatever. Just like the Roblox fucking Minecraft videos I have that's up on the channel. Anyways, let's move on from this topic because of the fact that, probably won't ever get a tattoo unless somebody comes up with some good designs. Because the thing about tattoos is that the designs that I thought were interesting / cool a year ago are not something that I'm interested in now or think is like cringy. So I would definitely, it would have to be something that I would not regret. You know what I'm saying? I think it's the big thing. Like, I bet Nadeshot's going to regret this 110%. 110%. But since we'll just go on to match fixing real quick, just to kind of go on this topic. But League of Legends professional player for FPX, Bo, admits to match fixing. So FPX were the 2019 world champions, first of all. Tion was forced back into Bo's spot on the roster, and Bo came forward to admitting that he had been coerced / blackmailed into match fixing. Okay, so he said he was blackmailed / coerced into this. This allegedly happened in 2020, so this was recent in the LDL, and there's no allegations that match fixing happened while playing with FPX in the LPL. So Bo was like a really important piece of the starting lineup as Tion stepped away to take a break to focus on his mental health and physical health, right? And because of the long history of match fixing in China, it's probably unlikely that we'll see Bo back anytime soon, right? He's pretty much donezo. The last player in LPL banned for match fixing was Rogue Warrior Jungle Weion, right? And we've talked about match fixing before, specifically in China and in the past, and I just kind of wanted to get refresh our take on match fixing in general, because I don't know if there should be long-term repercussions, you know? I get that people want these kind of things, people fucked over for a long time, and we'll talk to the DotaCapitalist later. Maybe we mentioned 666, or not 666, 322, I think it was the meme, it's basically how there was a Russian player in Dota 2 that still plays, by the way. He was caught match fixing for $200 or $322. He threw a match for $322 and got a ban/stern warning from Valve, but was still allowed to compete later on in his career, right? So I think in that regard, I don't know. It depends on the amount of. I think it depends on the severity, right? I think it depends on the severity. If you look at somebody stealing a chocolate bar from a gas station, how long do you think these guys should go to prison for stealing a chocolate bar from a gas station, if at all? What do you guys think?
I don't think they should. It just
get a fine.
Even if it was a chocolate bar, it'd probably be a warning first.
Right. So imagine stealing a bunch, a cash register of Bunny, from the 7-Eleven. How long do you think you should go to jail for that for?
Was it armed?
This gets into an interesting philosophical debate here, because of the fact that match fixing, I guess, doesn't have anything to do with armed robbery, right? But on that same note, I mean, we talked about how iBuyPower is permanently still banned in CSGO. And we talked about how in CSGO, they're still having investigations on MDL players and Mountain Dew League players that pretty much match fixed and had this match fixing ring pretty much, right? So I guess if it was a one-off offense, right? If it was a one-off thing, then would you be that mad? Would you be that upset? I don't really know, man. I don't really know. In this situation, if he was coerced and blackmailed, but was he really, though? Was he really coerced and blackmailed in the match fixing?
They even need to ask for proof, or they just need to stop him from playing, because if he's done it once, you can't really trust him again, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is you know how in the NBA they had the thing with the refs that there was that ref that got ousted for match fixing NBA games and he had ties to the mafia, and the mafia told him he had to keep match fixing NBA games, otherwise they would kill his family. Basically, that could have been the case for this guy, right? I mean, who knows how the fuck serious the Chinese mafia or whatever is, right? What is the Chinese mafia called, by the way? Does anybody know or no?
Is there a name?
It probably is a Chinese mafia. What is it?
In some places, the triads.
The triads. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, he could be this could be some sort of triad scandal or something like that as well. On top of that, right? I mean, if you think about it.
Yeah.
So
it could be, but we don't really know that yet.
Should there be a redemption for these type of people, though? And in my opinion, yes. I think people should have a potential redemption if they've done something like match fix. I think there should always be a way back, in my opinion, though.
For one, I definitely think it's not as bad as cheating outright, like wall hacks and
you think so?
.exe and stuff.
Yeah,
I think so.
I don't think so.
It doesn't affect the integrity. Well, it kind of does, but
yes,
it doesn't affect other people. Exactly. It just affects, I guess, bettors.
Oh, okay, yeah, true. Yeah, I guess it's not. I mean, it's the same thing. I think. I think they're both pretty equivalent. I don't know. I think cheating and match fixing are both pretty equivalent in terms of their severity. In my opinion.
Yeah. I guess in terms of the law in general, it's worse because here you're actually manipulating money and betting and things like that.
Yeah, it's kind of
in terms of the tournament, it doesn't really even matter, really, does it?
No, I mean, I guess not. I guess in terms of it matters for that team, that the fact that they're going to lose, right? I mean, and then it also affects the bettors and the people watching the game. So does cheating, though. I don't know. In my opinion, they're on similar grounds. I don't know. I think they're on similar grounds.
Yeah, I don't know. In terms, I guess it's difficult to like put them together.
Yeah.
I think there should be like some kind of legal action. I guess there is right now legal action happening.
Well,
to these
yeah.
kind of people.
Yeah.
On the other hand, cheating doesn't really, does it? Has someone ever gone to jail or anything for wall hacks or things like that?
None that I heard of. None that I heard of. I haven't heard anybody going to jail and stuff like that for cheating.
Or even like legal fines or anything.
No, yeah. I mean, in this situation, like I think people have like Yampy in Counter-Strike. Like he's sued Valve, right, for his cheating whole thing that he did in whatever when he was 12 years old. So it wasn't the company necessarily going back at them or taking legal action. What the only time you hear legal action against cheaters is against like entire developers, right? And we actually talked to. I'm trying to still work on getting like an actual cheater on the show. But one of my friends was talking to me about how there's potential for us to get like actual cheating developers and stuff like that on the show. But I heard apparently these types of people like cheaters and cheat devs, like they can get pretty fucking serious, right? Like these guys are like at every opportunity, they're like, it seems like a lot of them, I don't think I want to roast them too bad here, right? Because there's a potential to get them on the show. But from what I hear, they're pretty like vile people, you know? Like the actual developers of these cheats will like do some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll know your address. They'll be able to dox you. They'll be able to they'll say anything they want, you know, on the air. So that's a fucking worry in case somebody drops like some sort of hard R or something like that. Like they could go fucking ham and we wouldn't even be ready for it, right? Yeah, we would have to make it pre-recorded. First of all, I don't know. It'd be tough because a lot of these cheating people are very much so, you know, under the glass lens when it comes to like Valve or Blizzard, for example, like looking for these cheaters, right? Like they'll actively go out and try to sue companies that develop cheats is what their entire purpose is, I suppose. Yeah.
You know, like that one guy who put in a backdoor for a Bitcoin miner in every cheater.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking about.
Yeah. For fucking Rainbow
Six. Those are the
Six.
kind of people we're talking about.
They're smart people, but they're also like incredibly fucking vile, dude. Like they could be some potentially bad people in those scenes, okay? So it's a risk. But yeah, I don't know. I think cheating as a whole.
When are you getting Baby Bay on here to talk about his CSGO cheating times?
Whenever he has his fucking tournaments calmed down, dude, there's a potential to get Zoms on, like I said, next week. One of the hashtag Zom Nation, first of all, hashtag Zoms Nation, Zoms Nation up. But Zoms has mentioned how he'd like to come on the show and talk about his time in Overwatch and stuff like that. Baby Bay, with his performances recently in Valorant and then also in Overwatch. And then also, yeah, he did cheat in Counter-Strike. So I think it'd be cool if we brought him on because I want him to talk about the situation because his stories about it are really funny. Because he's like, I didn't even fucking like this match was meaningless. So he just cheated for fucking the lulz, like in an actual match. Maybe we can get him on. But like the Valorant tournament scene right now is very, very fucking hectic from what I hear right now. It's like super busy. So we'd have to make it like earlier in the day. But yeah, I think you had something, Max, right?
Yeah. So
how do we need to figure out how to transition through these to get to your guys' topics. Our transitions are poor because of me mainly, but you know.
We'll get there. We'll figure it out eventually.
We'll get there. But fuck it Friday.
It's fine, good enough now.
Fuck
it
Friday.
Pokemon.
Good enough. Pokemon.
Today we got some announcements today for Pokemon. 3 new games basically. We already knew about Pokemon Snap. They just showed like a new trailer and like what you can do. You ever played Pokemon Snap before? Like I think it's on the Nintendo 64. The first
Pokemon
one.
Snap? I've watched gameplay of it. I used to watch like Uber Hacks or Nova play
it. Where you like talk to oh wait, no. That was the Pikachu one where you talk to it. The Snap one was the camera one, right?
Yeah, where you're like on a train and you're like going through the map or whatever.
That could be fun.
Yeah. So what happened to this
nice
Pokemon Presents, Max?
And then after that, we got some big news. We got our Diamond and Pearl remakes that everyone's been looking forward to.
Wait, what?
Did you play the 4th gen? Diamond
Yeah,
and
I
Pearl?
did. That was like
Platinum?
my favorite one.
The remakes are coming,
Well,
and it's supposed to be like a. You don't care?
Yay! I don't know, dude. Like,
I guess we're too old for Pokemon now.
I mean, yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, it was cool at the time. I'm just a Nintendo hater, okay? I'm just a Nintendo hater.
Yeah,
Don't
I guess
get my
you
opinion
are.
on this. I do have this from the other day though. This is the good old classic McDonald's.
Oh yeah, you had a whole stream about 10 boxes that you unopened,
Yep.
and then you're so enthusiastic about Gen 4 remakes.
Yes, because I was just happy about the potential money I could make from it. That was all I cared about.
Yeah. Well, I guess the more you hear about it, you might get even more disappointed.
Okay.
Because it's supposed to be a remake of it, and it's they outsourced this remake to another company so that they can focus on another game. But it has like a chibi overworld art style that everyone's either loving or hating.
Oh,
I guess
really?
not really loving. They're tolerating or hating.
I hate it.
Yeah, I don't really
no.
like it, but oh well. At least it's a remake.
They should have added
and-
the waifu Pokemons. You know what I'm talking about? Like the old ones where they would replace all the Pokemon models with waifus.
Oh, yeah. That's something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Make that official.
And then we got Pokemon Arceus or Arceus, Legend of Arceus, whatever it's called. It's going to be it's a feudal era Sinnoh region, so it's 4th gen again, but it's open world.
What?
So it looks like it's in like a very alpha stage trailer demo.
Okay.
But it's basically, people are calling it Pokemon Breath of the Wild, where you have an open map and you walk around and throw Pokeballs at these freely roaming Pokemon. And
really?
That's what we've been waiting for, man.
Have people really been waiting for this?
Yeah, we don't want like that sprite-based, turn-based Pokemon thing that we've been getting for 25 years now. They're finally mixing it up a little bit.
Where's our Pokemon MMO? All right, where's our Pokemon MMO at, bud?
You're gonna have to wait another 25 years for that.
Dude, there was in Roblox actually. Speaking of Roblox earlier, they actually had a Pokemon map where you could go around and catch Pokemons, in their little habitats, and it was open world. Yeah,
it's kind of like
cool.
There's like a Minecraft mod for that too.
Yeah, I think that's the way that it should go. They should make something official with that, right?
Yeah,
wouldn't that be cool?
Honestly, it's probably like that.
But it's not multiplayer though, right?
Not multiplayer, but still,
man,
it has like a storyline. You can run around. You get to attack the Pokemons.
Sounds cool.
It has like a sneak function and a rolling function, which I don't know why, because it's still a Pokemon game. I don't know why. I don't know why the Pokemon Master has to roll around like that.
You want to sneak onto some Pokemons, maybe? I don't know.
Well, I guess the sneaking makes sense, but with the roll and the running around,
maybe you're attacked. Maybe you could be potentially attacked by these Pokemon, like take some real damage or something. Maybe you could die. Yeah, but
it's supposed to come out in 2022, and the trailer looked very alpha. So who knows if that's going to happen?
Oh, god damn it, man! So far from that.
But I like to say, this video still better than PlayStation State of Play.
That's wrong. That's fucking wrong. How dare you? How dare you?
I was more excited in this than the whole State of Play yesterday.
That's because all you fucks are nostalgia ridden, dude. Fucking
I don't even like Pokemon. I don't know what you're talking about.
But Pokemon has been a fucking scene that's been used and abused for years. When are we getting something
Call of
new?
Duty?
Well, yeah, exactly. And Call of Duty is, they do fall. I'm not saying they don't do that. I'm just saying that get something new. You know what I'm saying? Where's our new Yu-Gi-Oh?
This is the new thing.
Where's our new Pokemon? Where's our new fucking characters that matter? That's not just Pokemon.
It's this open world thing, which who knows if it's going to be good or not. We have no idea.
It's new, but there's been nothing to replace Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? There's been nothing that has been able to replace it.
You want an extra Digimon?
I want Digimons that could actually,
You want
replace
a new
Pokemon.
thing that's not Digimon or Pokemon? Something fucking,
Something
I
better.
don't know.
Yokai
I don't think maybe you
Waifumon?
can't. Maybe you can't make something better than Pokemon. I guess that's the purpose. Is you just can't. It's just impossible. They mastered the formula, right?
Yeah. They don't even
Can't
have
really
to put
beat it.
effort in their games and they make money.
Yeah, that's
And
my
I
that's my
guess-
problem with Nintendo. That's what I'm saying.
You're just wrong.
Not
And
wrong.
quick reminder, we talked about before Post Malone's concert for Pokemon. That's tomorrow.
Oh yeah, are you guys gonna
Pokemon
tune
Day.
in?
I don't know.
Might as well.
Maybe.
What time is it gonna be at? Yeah, fucking.
It's at. I don't know. Oh, it's
Apparently-
exactly in one day, so it's around.
It's
5.
in one day. All right,
5
let's fucking go.
PST.
Let's fucking watch
Or no,
this shit,
6
man.
4 PST.
4 PST, so it'll be at 3 p.m. our time, right?
I don't know how times work. It'll be 5 for us.
I'm watching it. 5 p.m. for us. Yeah, you're right. All right, let's move on from Pokemans because honestly, fuck Pokemon, fuck Nintendo. All right, that's all I'm trying to say. And
Get it, man.
today, actually, or was it yesterday, FaZe's vice president has leaked the fact that they have a Rocket League team now. Apparently, they were on his story. The VP of Content Production, Femio, posted a story on his personal Instagram with what looked like an itinerary / Google Calendar, and it had a line that read Rocket League announcement, right? The story was removed, but before it was removed, Jake Lucky, the esports reporter or whatever, I don't know, esports talk, I think it's called, he posted on Twitter the pictures of said leak, of the leakage, and it was removed. So was it on purpose or was it on accident, right? That's the biggest debate here because FaZe Clan might be in Rocket League now, boys. We might see the FaZe Clan in Rocket League, and I think that's honestly pretty good move, right? I think it's a pretty fucking good move. If Daniel could pull up the pics, that'd be awesome. Maybe we could see if it's possible. However, that is pretty fucking big news if they're in Rocket League because Rocket League is known to be kind of their jam, right? Is known to kind of fall in to that FaZe Clan jam and to kind of go into that genre that they've been kind of missing on, right? That they've been kind of lacking on because for the most part, they do kind of mash up, right? Brand-wise, FaZe Clan and Rocket League, they're both kind of the same thing. It's like revolving around the same idea in that they're trying to kind of make things a little bit more normie, right? They're trying to make things a little bit more usual. And soccer and Rocket League or whatever are kind of big things in themselves, right? So, FaZe Clan joining Rocket League, maybe a good thing. However, my take on FaZe potentially joining Rocket League, is it going to ruin these pro players' lives? Because as you know, I mean, I don't think everybody entirely knows this, but I feel like it's pretty common knowledge that when you have a little old fucking just turned 18-year-old little fucking kid, right? Just be like, oh, I'm just a little pro player. I stay inside all day doing nothing, playing video games. And then you have him join FaZe Clan, and the first thing you show him is a massive party full of strippers and shit like that. Like, oh my God, dude. You're just ruining that kid's life right there, man. It turns into a FaZe bro. You know, that's the biggest complaint that FaZe Clan gets, right, from a lot of people why they don't want to be fans, is that they're like the FaZe bros, right? They kind of have that mentality that it's just this kind of bunch of dudes fucking around and partying, right? Like that's kind of what they're known for. So honestly, if they do get into Rocket League, there's a lot of people in Rocket League, a lot of kids in Rocket League that are known for being, you know, innocent kids, right? They're not really known for being extremely I don't know, rowdy individuals. So, because, like, imagine you have, like, Squishy Muffin or some of these guys come and join fucking FaZe Clan, dude. Like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. Like, I just don't see it. I mean, for the most part, apparently Rocket League players do talk a lot of shit. And apparently there's a lot of showboating and stuff like that. So, I mean, whatever. Yeah, I guess it matches up in that regard. But the fact that they are getting to Rocket League, I think, matches up pretty fucking well with their brandage. My only concern is, like I said, if they ruin these guys in terms of, you know, their innocence. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Even though that doesn't really matter, to be honest with you, because I know the FaZe guys, they go fucking hard. All right, man? We talk about this all the time. They go fucking hard, man. Everybody knows that when FaZe goes out to party or whatever, man, like, they will drop tens of thousands of dollars on that one party or whatever, dude. Like, they absolutely fucking live it up. They don't care about COVID. FaZe Banks don't care about no COVID. Man goes out without his mask at a fucking club. He don't give a shit. I mean, I don't know.
If something stands between FaZe and a good time, it's going down.
It's going down, son. I mean, that's the concern, though, is that, like, they could ruin lives here in Rocket League. Now, they probably won't, okay? This is kind of being a little bit over extreme because, to be honest, FaZe is still a good organization. FaZe is still a great org. However, I'm just saying that I think some of these, kids or whatever, like, it's like why FaZe didn't join Overwatch League in the first, like, it doesn't really match up. Like, FaZe and Overwatch League, they kind of don't mesh because FaZe Clan has a bunch of like brash and bold and whatever personalities, and Overwatch League is kind of safe and like secure little people that just don't want to kind of get into any drama or whatever, where FaZe is all about that kind of shit, right? So obviously, probably not a good mashup there. However, for FaZe to join Rocket League, probably is actually a good mashup, even though they will potentially ruin kids' lives, you know what I'm saying? Ruin these Rocket League players' lives. Although they probably deserve it. Just, to be honest, there's some fucking sick plays that happen in Rocket League. There's some awesome shit that happens in Rocket League, to be honest with you. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool.
It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch. And they probably are joining Rocket League, according to these leaks. Last topic of the day that I just want to quickly gloss over before we get Capitalist on, right? So, Real Madrid's Casemiro had claimed that, is that how you pronounce his name, by the way? Or Casemiro? Casemiro?
Good enough.
I don't know. Anyways, he claims that Counter-Strike makes him more nervous than football, right? So in a report by Flash Reporter, they were talking to the Real Madrid player, and they were talking about him and how, it's 3 syllables, Casemiro. Oh, Casemiro. Oh, okay. Well, I don't speak Spanish. My bad. I apologize. Anyways, in an article, he was talking about how Counter-Strike, sorry, Counter-Strike makes him nervous, right? So I kind of wanted, I guess, talk about like what my opinions were on nerves in gaming and in the professional scene, and actually, I guess, how that affects you, I suppose, right? When you play Counter-Strike, what's the difference between Counter-Strike nerves and then playing in like an Overwatch League game, I guess, right? So when you're in Counter-Strike, I think there's like a if you took like the heart rate of like players from different pro scenes, like if you took one from Counter-Strike, if you took one from Dota, if you took one from League of Legends, if you took one from all these different scenes, from Overwatch or whatever, right? You'll see, I think, like a difference in patterns, right? Because of the fact of the pacing of the game changes per game, obviously, right? So in Overwatch, for example, when you're playing the game, you're kind of at like a constant, steady, rate because of the fact that the game's always going on. Maybe when you respawn, it like drops a little bit, right? But for the most part, this you're running at a high for an entire Overwatch game, right? Whereas if you play Counter-Strike or if you play Valorant or whatever, right? Like you're just going to be playing the round or whatever. Heart rate's staying high. Boom, you die. Drops or whatever, right? You have to wait till the next round, right? So it's like an up and down at like longer rates, right? I think MOBAs are kind of in a similar boat where Overwatch is, where you kind of just have a consistent like pacing or whatever, or rotations and all that kind of shit. Like, I guess when you die, it's similar to Counter-Strike, but it's a little bit longer, depends on timings or whatever and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think it would be necessarily as different as Overwatch is. And to be honest, obviously, if you're from a different scene, right, you get probably more nervous playing games. I think, like, we even heard, I played with, like, some MMA players in Warzone, like, about a year ago or something like that, right? Some famous MMA players. And, like, those UFC fighters pretty much said that playing Warzone makes them 2 times as much as nervous as it actually being in the octagon in an MMA ring is. They said playing in a charity Warzone tournament that we were playing in was making them more nervous than actually being in a boxing match or MMA fight where you're literally trying to knock the other person out or choke them out, basically, or do whatever. Pretty much bloody up another person, right? So, I don't know. Just change. Yeah, it's just comfort zone. It just depends on what you're used to. What your norm is, I suppose, what kind of how high of a energy level you run at. I think all of these things kind of play into fact, and I don't think you can really blame Casemiro for being in the situation because, to be honest with you, it's just like, for example, if I play Counter-Strike or Valorant or whatever, my nervousness or whatever is a lot different than it is in Overwatch, because once you get so used to something and once you get so confident in doing something, you kind of level out, I think, comparatively. Where something's new, you don't have as much confidence or whatever. And I think the good old classic saying from Peyton Manning was like, if you're nervous, you didn't, practice hard enough or something like that. I don't remember the actual saying is, but it's something along those lines. So I can't blame him, right? Can't blame him. All right. I think we should introduce our guest, just to move on from that topic. Just a quick one. So, our guest today, obviously, is a man whose hairstyle I copied quite a little bit back, and I aspire to have hair as good. A man whose casting and voice can be heard across the world. Dota 2 caster and host, Capitalist. What's up, Cap?
Hey,
how you doing, man?
Let's go.
How you doing, brother?
Oh, it's I'm
You
doing
cut
good.
your
I'm doing
hair!
good. I know. I was gonna say
Oh,
I can't have
No.
the hair gel anymore. I've been
No, it's
doing
okay.
the quarantine shave.
How long you been doing it for?
Probably for about a year now. I think I did it.
About a year?
Yeah, when we were doing the ESL1 shows
Oh.
for like Los Angeles,
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't want to go to a barber. I'm just gonna shave it all off, and then I just kept doing that for like the last year.
Do you get like the Jesse Pinkman or whatever, like call out a lot? I feel like I was getting that when I shaved my head.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but
Okay, good.
I think the biggest call out, and it's not even a call out. People are just like, you have a good skull. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like that's a weird
Like,
compliment.
thanks.
They're like, yeah, you could pull off the bald look. You've got a good skull for it. I'm like, all right, yeah, sure.
I guess it is a compliment, but you're like, okay, I guess now I know when I'm dead, my head will look cool, right? That's what matters most, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna give away my my skull specifically to science, some museum, People can look
Hey,
at
there
it.
you go. Yeah, you can be in one of those like human arts museums. I had a question for you, Cap. What do you go by now? First of all, is it just Cap or Dota Cap or?
Well,
what do
to be honest, like part of the reason I changed my Twitter to Capcast.
Yeah.
Because for a number of reasons. I'm trying to get into voice acting. I was doing some stuff that wasn't Dota. And then on top of that, everyone calls me Cap. So at this point, I feel like it's just like the go-to name. So Cap is just what I've gotten used to anyway. Plus, there's like the annoying baggage of having people at me and like, try and hit me up because my name is Capitalist and, they have certain
and
beliefs
then they're trying to
stuff.
actually get on you into politics and
Yeah,
stuff
like
like
I
that.
use spam bots will hit me up as well. I'm just in a list of like, like 20 ads that anything that has capitalist in the name, they're just
Oh my
adding
God.
me.
Well,
So I get added to
originally
that.
you came up with this because your friend was also like the communist, right? Originally, right? So you guys kind of came up with it together. So I mean, like, why was that? Why did you originally come up with that dynamic duo of the communist and the capitalist?
I wouldn't really say that I'm like I was never like right leaning or anything. It was just my friend was like super far on the left, and we were debating some politics and economics, and because I had an interest in that as a teenager, and we were just debating that. And to taunt me, he changed his name to the communist, so I in turn changed my name to the capitalist. And to be honest, I just I thought it sounded good, and it just kind of stuck because my previous moniker was Cow King. Like a throwback to Diablo 2. Yeah.
Why'd you change that, bro? That's a good name.
I know. I shouldn't have changed it.
You could have gone back. That's what you should have rebranded to. Cow
True.
King.
True.
No, probably. Actually, no. From experience, relating yourself to an animal, I don't recommend because then people would just call you a furry or something like that. So, I mean, that was
True.
generally the path when I was called Dogman. It was unfortunate lifestyle because people would associate me with. I mean, I have nothing against furries. I mean, I don't think you do either, but just not necessarily who we are. Well, on that,
I have no hate for furries, but I'm definitely not one.
just to make sure that we get that out the fucking door, and then they'll say no, that's fine. Well, speaking on that, actually, I noticed because I was always interested in Dota, and I know that you're trying to also expand out into other things besides Dota, but. When I was originally like back, I want to say like a few years ago, like I was massively into just watching Dota and stuff like that. And I noticed the Dota 2 community has a very different approach than every other community, right? Like everybody's pretty diehard fans of Dota. Everybody's pretty much like it's almost like adult humor / the inside jokes, I guess, compared to everything else I noticed. Like I feel like a lot of other scenes are a lot more lighthearted or a lot whatever in other direction, whereas Dota's like has a lot of serious inside jokes that you really need to be kind of ingrained into Dota to understand, right? Like, why is that? Why is Dota such a hardcore community? Is it just because of how good the game is and how serious it is?
Yeah, I would say a number of things. I think that people who play Dota and kind of really get into it, it never really goes away. because Dota is just one of those games that sticks with you because of its strategic complexity that you can kind of like keep on playing it. I'm not somebody who's gonna like hype up Dota as like the best game ever. I think a lot of esports, like for example, even League of Legends, like I quite enjoy. I think League of Legends is straight up just more fun than Dota.
Yeah.
Even though I obviously think Dota as an esport is much better. Like League of Legends, just straight up like playing it with friends and stuff, it's way more fun. But you know, like so every esport has its pros and cons. But Dota is like through the grassroots community of like how it was built up in the first place, combined with the fact that the audience usually trends much older than most esports right now. Like if you were to look at the demographics of just comparing Dota and League of Legends, Dota's obviously going to trend older. Even CSGO has like newer generations coming in because first person shooters never really die. But like Dota specifically, it's like I don't ever have to worry too much, especially like if I'm streaming or something like that, but on tournament channels and stuff like that, of like having adult jokes, knowing that there is a significant population that is like underage listening. Like I don't have to worry about that. Almost like most of the audience is 18 and up. So I think that's part of the reason. Just long sense of history combined with the fact an older audience.
On that note, I mean, okay, just because you brought it up, and I know that you're probably not going to like this question, so if you don't want to answer it, let me know. Okay. You know what I'm going to talk about, because it's obviously been a little bit of a slip up, and not necessarily due to your fault, just because of the name, right? Which is obviously Team Nigma. You made a comment before. People like to either roast you or bring it up, but it's just kind of funny, where they're like, you were talking about before, right? You're like, oh, you know, you can't slip it up or something along those lines, right? And then comes time, you later on, you did slip up and said Nigma. The team name, by the way, I just want to break this is a Dota 2 team, not for people that don't know. It's not literally, you know, whatever else you're thinking about here. It's literally just a team name. And Capitalist might have slipped up.
Let me just say, I love that video. I think it's hilarious. Like, you know, like I have no problem clowning on myself. Like, and to be fair, like, you know, like, I don't really think it was much of a problem with because so in Dota, people don't know we have a hero who's called Enigma, and I don't really think like that people had really slipped up before on that. But then this team name came in, Nigma, and obviously that is close to a sensitive word, and people were talking about, oh, Caster's gonna trip up on it. And I was like, I don't know, this is gonna be like people are making way too big of a deal out of this because part of the community was saying like, oh, the players are doing it on purpose. Like this is a big troll. Like they're specifically like people took like almost offense at the name. And I was just like, nah, this is silly. It's not that big of a deal. And then of course, like half of the scene has slipped up at this point in time. I would like to joke that every single new person who slips up on the name, in fact, somebody did just like 2 weeks ago or something like that. I always tell them like, you get to join the special Discord group that we have that was started by me and one other guy who were like the first two people who were like very notoriously said it. So yeah, you know, it's funny. People like people say things like, oh, I hope they don't get fired or anything like that. No tournament organizer in their right mind is even going to say something to you about it. You know, everyone knows it's a slip up. It's funny, and you know, you just move on.
Well, do you think it's even a bad like name for a team? Because I know, like you said, they've gotten a lot of hate for it, and I think in the replies, like it was like it's supposed to mean something in what, Arabic or something like that, or
yes,
something like that.
So Kuro is he is combination of German and Egyptian. And specifically in Egyptian, Nigma means star, apparently. And I will say it's a good name for a player-owned organization, because a player-owned organization typically doesn't need a whole lot of sponsors. Because to be honest, these guys are like millionaires. That's why they have a player-owned organization in the first place. They don't want to split prize money with anybody, and they don't really want to have sponsor obligations. And they just want to. They have the luxury of building something for themselves. They have the luxury of being able to say like, I don't really need a big salary, you know. So but I do think it's a terrible name if they ever want to transition that player-owned organization into something that is competing with like Team Liquid, just because like. yeah, maybe the intention is right and everything, but you know the optics of it. Like your sponsors are gonna like if they ever look at your Twitch chat, they're gonna be like, why is everybody? Oh Jesus, this is awful. What's going
they're
on
not
here?
gonna like it. Oh my god. Well, I mean, speaking of which, I mean, like that's why Dota is such an interesting community and why it's a lot. It's very like we were talking about this before. I think with Michael Udall, one of my friends that was a Heroes of the Storm player, right?
Yeah,
and
I like
then he
Michael.
tried to transition. Yeah, so he tried to transition into Dota 2. I don't know if he's still playing like too much. But he's tried like over like a course of a year, I think, from like nothing to then becoming a decently high elo player. And I guess like the reason that Dota 2 is so different is because it's so top heavy, right? Because of the fact that, you know, the best players in the world all compete at TI. If you go to TI, that's literally like you at least have what is it? What's last place in TI for one player? What, like $100,000 or something like that, or is it less than that?
No, okay. So there was I remember the last time we had TI, it was like the bottom two only got like 25 grand or something. But if you literally go one place above, it's like 200 grand or something. It was like literally 10 times the amount. If you literally just go one level up, it's actually pretty funny. But
you can still live off that, though. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Won't get taxed. Won't get taxed at least. But I mean, that's the scary part, right? When if it's that's why it's so daunting, and I think that's, I guess why this could go into my next question is specifically with NA, right? This has been a hotly debated topic. Not really, I guess, not that hotly debated because it's been happening for a while, and obviously EU's always trash on NA for being trash because for the most part, obviously we don't have too much representation in the pro scene, right? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that NA specifically has never competed, or they have competed, sorry, but has been like a constant downfall, I suppose, as a region?
I think that when it comes to most esports, NA, or certain esports, NA does suffer in particular, like NA in League of Legends, NA in CSGO hasn't been having a hot run lately. When it comes to Dota especially, it can be kind of bad. And it's mostly just due to the fact that there just isn't the same kind of player pool, right? If you just compare, and I've heard talking about, I was listening to a CSGO podcast, maybe, or no, it was League of Legends. I think it was like Monty or someone said, like, you just can straight up compare the player pool of people who are playing in Europe compared to the NA servers. And then on top of that, you compare the people who are playing ranked versus like what percentage of people are playing ranked in NA compared to Europe. It's less there as well, right? It's like that is just going to have a direct effect on the competition, the competitive level of the esports scene, because that's just how you build up new players, right? It's like some guy's really good, he gets scouted, or maybe there's like he actually has his eye on esports and he sees that like, oh, this is a prize pool of like 5,000. He joins in on that tournament, gets a little money. Next thing you know, he's like feels like he's good enough that he can actually make that jump. Okay, I'm going to take a year off of school, focus on playing this game professionally. Like that entire esports scene is built up off of guys who are just like neglecting their college classes for them to be able to play this game for fucking 12 hours a day.
It's not healthy.
Yeah. So it's not healthy, but like that is where the esports scene has grown up. So when you just like don't have the same number of players when it comes to playing ranked games and trying to play at a higher level, then you just don't have fresh talent. You don't have fresh teams that are coming through. And as a result, it just kind of like stays the same guys who are kind of showing up. I mean, CSGO's another good example of that. You saw kind of the same guys cycle in, and now they're heading to retirement, which is Valorant for a little while. That's basically the next step for them.
Well, that's why I kind of avoided, Counter-Strike specifically, instead of, choosing that game to go professional. Because it's like you said, like it's the same guys over and over again. It's like a pretty, nepotism-based community. Would you say it's the same thing kind of for NA, I suppose? And because, I mean, we've had people like, I don't know, like the top name I could think of is still like PPD and stuff like that, and then or not. Oh fuck, yeah, PPD I think, right? So I mean, obviously Peter's like been one of the guys, one of the forward-facing people, and there's been other people like Sumail that's still pretty prevalent. But obviously, is there still like, because I mean, I don't want to like act like I'm like I know everything here because obviously I've taken like a year off of watching Dota. So I mean, is there actually any up and coming talent that RNA that maybe aren't as known that actually could make their big break coming up or something?
So it goes to show the lack of young talent when there's like one player who's brought up a lot in NA, which is DNM. He's like this 16-year-old kid who's actually playing with PPD right now. Unfortunately, their team's run at this season of the DPC did not go that well. They're actually in a tiebreaker to see whether or not they get eliminated or relegated down to lower division. But that being said, like people like to bring him up a lot. But NA has been like in Dota has been held as like kind of a one team region for a long time. Evil Geniuses have been like sort of dominant. But there's actually a tiebreaker between Evil Geniuses, another rival team that has consistently showed up and been in the upper bracket of TI the last 2 years, which is Quincy Crew. And then a third one actually showed up, Undying, which is composed of a mix of older players and new up-and-comers. And they're actually all tied together in the group stage of the DPC. And it looks like, to me anyway, that we're actually a 3-team region now instead of a 1 or 2 teams. So I think there is hope, mostly because of this new DPC system we're doing.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because I think people kind of look at it in a not necessarily like a toxic light, but it's just like not really understanding the implications, I suppose, which I guess that's how it works. Everything is kind of in that situation when you're competing, like people will root for their own nationality, obviously, right? Like the Olympics or whatever. So that's just kind of what it turns into. And specifically Europe likes to rag on NA for being shit in Dota. But I mean, when you look at it, it's just like, we just don't have the players, right? I mean, I know that's an excuse. That kind of is like an excuse to some degree, but you look at it numbers wise, I mean, statistically, you're just not supposed to succeed in that situation, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, Michael is a really good example of somebody who came in and quit just because the NA servers, he found them to be so hard to try and grow and get better because they were so toxic. And I just spent a month in Europe and I grinded. I actually got to 8,000 MMR, which is like 0.03% of the Dota pool.
Oh shit, nice.
And my experience in Europe, every single time I go there, matchmaking is so much better because of the larger player pool that I have. There's less toxicity in a way because you don't run into the same people over and over and over, and you don't develop those like grudges, and like every game is like a fresh. It's like a clean slate every single time, rather than like, oh, I know like 8 of these guys and 4 of them I've had bad experiences in the past,
Yeah, you don't get just yelled at constantly by Russians though, or something like that. Isn't that like a pretty common thing?
Yeah, of course that happens as well. But like, it's every region has their like every region has the group of people that they like to hold as like, oh, that's like the toxic group. Like NA, or when it comes to Dota, right? A lot of the South American players, if you want to play at a high level, you have to play on US East. They can't play on their own servers because there's just not a player pool. Right? It's like you need 10 people and you're trying to get in the top 100 games. Like you have to play on US East. And so there's a mixing of regions in NA and Europe. It's just in Europe, everyone plays on Europe West, whether you're from CIS or you're from, Europe. You always play on the same server because you just want the absolute best games.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And obviously, I think that's like an example like League of Legends or whatever. Like you'll go boot camp in Korea or whatever, because like the Korea scene's really good. Well, I kind of wanted to mix it up though, Capitalist. I mean, obviously, since you've been delving into voice acting, like recently. Well, first of all, when did you start doing that? And then second of all, we'll just leave it at that. Actually, when did you start voice acting, and where are you trying to go with your voice acting career specifically?
Okay, so I got into voice acting. I guess it's just always been somewhere in the back of my mind that I was just like, oh, that looks cool. Like I'm really interested in that, but I never really thought about pursuing it as a career up until I worked TI 8, I think. And at that TI, there was they asked me to do voiceovers for like the daily recap, basically. And they wanted sort of like an epic sounding narrator type. And the guy I was working with is actually like the director of like any of the voice work that they get done at Valve. And so I think it's like director, it's like studio director or something is the term. But so I was working with him and I kind of like brought that up, and he was like, he encouraged me to go for it. And he told me that that one of the things that I did very well is I took direction really well. Basically, like, I'm just good at listening to people and changing that up. He said, you definitely have
Yeah.
potential, and encouraged me to go for it. And that obviously meant a lot to me. Somebody who's like an actual professional that works with real voice acting talent. So I just kind of like pursued it, and I've been kind of grinding. Like, it's hard with the actual casting and like going to events and stuff. But like for the last 2 years, I've been kind of working at it. Don't think it's really gone anywhere, to be honest. Maybe it never will.
Is it pretty hard?
It's like a talent industry similar to esports casting, just with like 100 times the
Even
amount
more
of people that are like, they're like people like, in 10 years time, esports casting will be like incredibly competitive, right? Because everyone's growing up playing games and stuff. But like voice acting, everyone knows voice acting, and cartoons and animation shows are just getting more and more popular, so it's like the competition level is just insane. So very difficult to break into, for sure.
So is it less of like do you think it's like less of a, I don't know, just like how good your voice is necessarily, and more of like a relationship standpoint, I guess? Is that's kind of how it works, I suppose, in voice acting?
If you have like a really unique voice, I think that helps. If you have like one of those golden voices, obviously that's probably going to get you some gigs automatically. But nowadays it feels like so like the acting part is really, really important. And I never really took acting or anything like that, so that's just something that I've been trying to learn. I've just been taking a lot of acting classes, basically. And again, it'll probably never go anywhere, but it's fun. I always like being able to like I like being able to pursue things. I don't want to remain stagnant, and being in Dota casting, it's like I don't really know where else I can go, because I love Dota casting and I don't want to stop doing it. But at the same time, like I don't really feel like I'm growing as a person in my career. So
that makes sense. Well, because it's tough. I mean, once you get involved into an esport for so long, and it's because, I mean, that's the big thing. That's the big struggle that we have here, is because for the most part, we like, obviously we come from Overwatch, right? I come from Overwatch, right? That's because I played a game for like 3 years, 2 years or whatever, 4 years. And that takes a while to develop that reputation. However, when you want to go from esport to esport, like you have to, I don't know, it's tough, because if you need to be like really ingrained in the community for its memes, it's everything basically, right? On top of reputation. So it's honestly tough. I can see your point where it's like tough to actually break into other things when, like for example, if you look at traditional sports, right? It's super easy to just focus on the NFL or whatever, because there's so much content based around it, right? And you don't really have like an overall sports look for esports, I suppose. It's just kind of like, you're either in this niche community or you're not, and it's kind of tough to leave it, I suppose.
It's scary too, right? Because the audience, like I'm sure you experienced this as both like hedging that line between both having that pro player career and understanding like talent. Where I'm not have you done any commentating or anything like that for Overwatch?
A little bit, yeah, but that's, I mean, like it's tough, man. I understand that, like, at least for commentating, you need to like a lot of voice work that you do, a lot of storytelling is not something you learn being a player at all. So,
but the audience is like super perceptive, right? It's like I think I remember reading this about a traditional sportscaster. He said that like audiences nowadays compared to 30 years ago are they have such a stronger understanding of the sport that they're watching than they used to. And that's why you have to be like always at the top of the game. You always have to be right on the edge, learning all the new stuff, because your audience that's listening to you also knows that stuff. And if that applies to regular traditional sports that people don't play in their downtime, then like esports audiences, they're incredibly sophisticated. They know like the intelligence of the masses. Like they know all kinds of stuff that you don't know, because like the games are like complicated, and there's lots of like maybe small mechanical things that you don't know and stuff like that. They're listening to interviews that you haven't heard, because there's only so many hours in the day. So esports audiences are incredibly sophisticated. So being in various games, I think, is incredibly hard.
Well, no, I mean, like, because imagine if you look at a game like Dota, right? Like Dota, you have to know. I imagine to be a caster in Dota, you probably have to know so much, because of the fact that not only is, like you mentioned, like people are getting smarter and smarter, but also Dota is probably seen as one of the more hard games, like probably the hardest professional game to play. I mean, I guess that's kind of something that's like, obviously, it depends, but in terms of like just at the mechanical level, it's you can't really peak out, right? Like you have like a baseline or whatever that's super low, and then also the skill ceiling is like unreachable, basically, right? Whereas in other games, it's like, in Overwatch, you play Moira, and all you got to do is sit there and fucking shoot piss on people, and it's like super easy. You don't even have to aim. You don't do anything basically. Whereas Dota, I guess, is a little bit different, right?
I would say Dota has I think knowledge is like the most important thing when it comes to Dota, both as like a player and a caster, is that there's so many different heroes and you have to understand a bunch of like mechanics that go on, but like just even an overall strategy is like a massive part of Dota, obviously. So being able to understand like movement is like an incredibly important thing in Dota, like where the pieces move on the map. That's why people like Dota players like to compare it to chess, because it's a very elitist thing to say, right? But
no, I was about
to
say
that's why they compare it to chess, right? It's the movement around the map, where the pieces go. It's all very important. So, but it's like that's such a weird concept to be thinking about when it comes to when you're just at like the basic level of playing a MOBA. So.
No, that makes sense. I think that I was going to bring it up. I was like, it was kind of like the Dota scene is kind of like the chess community in terms of like that kind of talk, pretty much. But speaking of which, I mean, obviously, I think an event that is pretty much the pinnacle, which is coming back sometime soon. I was actually planning on going to the one in Sweden about TI, but obviously you've casted at TI before, and I can't imagine that environment is easily replicated in really any scenario across esports, right? I mean, maybe you have League of Legends Worlds. But even that, like TI is like a whole, like it's like a carnival almost, right? Like it's weeks of setting up, and it's like, what is it, a couple days of the actual event where you're at the arena? Is that usually what it is, or?
Yeah, it usually comes out to, I think I remember thinking it was about 12 or 13 work days. So it's probably 11 or 12 work days in total. So there's usually like 3 or 4 group stage days. And then there's the stadium days, where there's usually about 6 or 7. So yeah, it's like a full week, and it's just like a giant celebration of Dota, basically. And because, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, how can you touch on that? Like, what was your experiences, I guess, casting at TI so far, and like, does it compare to anything else you've kind of done in your life, I guess?
No. TI is like very special in that regard, because Dota is, so first of all, one of the big things about the international is it's in the name. It's like a very international game. So no matter where you're at, you're going to have people, just like general fans, coming over from China, from Southeast Asia, from NA, Europe, wherever it is. Like, they're going to take the money and the time to actually go there and be there and support their teams. So the fans are like incredibly passionate. They're incredibly loud as well when it comes to the cheers and stuff inside of the stadium. All the stuff that Valve does, like Valve has many flaws, but I think the international is a good example of like many of the things that they do right. They create so much great content around TI. There's so many interesting, like basically the documentary that we get every single year about the team, right? That everyone's interested in that, because it is such a cool viewing experience. The various skits that they come up with, I think that Valve like makes TI something incredibly unique. And I've watched Worlds, and I've watched like CS:GO Katowice is always one that like I will always tune into. So I don't know. I haven't visited those in person like I have TI, but nothing.
I don't
quite
think they really
the way TI does.
No, they don't really compare. I think like, even though there's like, I guess if you look at it that way, it's like, even though those events are amazing and are fucking awesome and are still special in their own right, it's just like the branding, I think, behind like TI, for example, is just absolutely something that's unmatched, I suppose. Like, because I think every scene, like everywhere you hear, it's like, oh, I just want to go to TI or whatever. Like, I want to go, because there's really nothing like it, at least in all of esports. It's like, I don't know, there's just nothing like TI, I guess. Which that's why I want to go next. But I mean, it's coming back, right? I mean, obviously it's because obviously it was canceled because of COVID-19, right? This last year. And then what is it? Is what time? When is it going to be again? I should have fucking looked this up before I
I
started.
actually don't know if we have dates for
Is there not
this
even
next
dates yet?
coming
It's
up
just a
TI. Yeah, like Valve has been super safe when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
Like obviously League of Legends still had Worlds going on. I'm not even sure Valve could do that because I don't think they have enough employees, to like make sure these things happen. So
okay.
when it comes to like creating a good bubble and that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we actually have a date for TI, but we have started the season of the DPC that leads into TI. So I'm guessing that should be coming around August. Is probably what we're looking at, but we still don't have a plan of what we're going to do, because obviously one of the big things about TI is that it's community funded by the Battle Pass, and all that money that was put into the Battle Pass for TI 10 is still there. And
Jesus.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like
the biggest TI yet by like a long margin, right?
It's a gigantic pool of money, right? And we don't know
How
if
much is
like
in it right now?
if Valve's going to do another battle pass for the upcoming TI, and like, are they going to raise even more money? Because like Valve makes like 75, 100 million or something like that every single year off the battle pass. So like,
yeah,
just financially, like they want to do more battle. They want to do another battle pass this year, but like, do you put that battle pass money into TI 10 as well? In which case you're having
awesome.
Like, well, I'm not sure if it would be awesome, because then we would have like some $80 million prize pool, and then like that's it. That's the peak. We're never going anywhere close to that ever again. We're done.
Yeah, because I guess it does add up incrementally every year. But like, what else would they use it for? Because that was the entire purpose of the battle pass, right? Was, I mean, obviously for in-game cosmetics, but also right for the players. I mean. What are you going to spread it out over the court? Maybe you could just use that money to develop the tier 2 scene or something like that, and actually create, something besides just TI or some shit. I don't know.
I think a lot of the community has suggested that whether or not Valve actually pulls the trigger on that. I mean, I think they're doing some testing with this current DPC. This is the first time that we've had a more support for the tier 2 and tier 3 scene. Which has been like a constant complaint for Dota. So this is the first year we're actually doing something like that, but it's not like they're taking like, let's say even like 2 or 3 billion and applying it to the DPC. They're not doing anything like that. So it's a big question of like what's going to be happening with the TI prize pool. I think it's a pretty interesting Valve conundrum that they've got on their hands. It's in a way suffering from too much success.
Well, so I guess last question for you, since we've held you over just a little bit. For specifically, I guess, like you mentioned, like Valve and what they've done. I guess Dota's not necessarily as bad as something like Counter-Strike at all. Like, I think for sure, like they've had it a little bit worse. But do you kind of wish that, Valve was a little bit more hands-on with how they took esports, and that they were a little bit more, I don't know, if they added more, if they committed more resources, if they had like an esports specific team that was bigger. Or do you like it how it is?
It's hard to say, because Dota's in that weird line where we're nowhere close to being something like Riot does, where they have obviously built up their esports scene and created like very polished products out of it and really supported it. But we're also not fully at CSGO, where they're a much more free-for-all. Like they've got the Valve majors and stuff. But as a result, though, like CSGO scene is very healthy because they built up a large share of third parties that come in, these tournament organizers that routinely support the CSGO scene and bring a bunch of sponsorship money into the esport. Like Dota is weirdly propped up by TI. Everyone looks at TI as like, it can be, there can only be good things, right? With having a tournament that has millions and millions of dollars. But there are a lot of hidden downsides that you don't really recognize until you're like actually in the scene. For example, like one good example is when you have millions and millions of dollars on the line, life-changing money, right? The players don't care about anything else. There's no amount of marketing that they give a shit about, because all they're working towards is winning TI. So every interview is pulling teeth. Like when it comes to player-owned organizations are a big thing, because these guys win TI and they don't need to be under an organization anymore because they've already won.
They don't need to care about anything.
So like that's obviously not good, because then player-owned organizations traditionally aren't going to be bringing in a whole lot of sponsorship money, which is obviously good for the esports scene. It also means they're probably creating less content, where you compare
Yeah.
to someone like, say, Team Liquid. It's probably the best when it comes to creating content
Yeah.
for Dota 2 scene anyway. Like, they pump out a lot of content, a lot of interviews and stuff like that, because they've got sponsorship obligations that they need to pull through. And the same goes with, like players just aren't really confined by all of these ideas of trying to create content themselves, to market
Well, it's 'cause
themselves.
some of them are just richer than their boss, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
what are they gonna fucking say?
Yeah, they're like, somebody tells them that they need to do this interview and put on the Sennheiser headset or something, and they're just like, what do I get out of
Fuck
this?
that.
Like, what my
Fuck
salary?
that.
My salary's what, 10 grand a month? Are you kidding me? Like, I have
No
millions
way.
of dollars. Like, what is 10 grand? Meanwhile, I'm sitting over there going like, God, I wish I could make 10 grand a month. But
But imagine the stress, bro. I mean, like the stress of being at TI, dude. That is probably that probably takes years off your fucking life or some shit, dude. I imagine that's not something that's comparable in terms of anything else you could do in your life besides going to fucking. I don't know. I don't want to compare anything to war or anything like that, but that would probably be incredibly stressful. I can't imagine.
No, that is definitely the best part, I think, about TI, is that it creates such a wholly unique experience. Like, there are I was talking to a friend about this. He got to be with OG right after they won their first TI. This is the OG that was slated to be like 16th, ends up winning the entire tournament. Fairy tale of It's the most fairy tale story of
It's like
all
impossible
esports, right? It's this impossible thing. And he got to be in the room with them right after they won TI, like literally right after they go off the stage. He's in the same room with them. And he says, I will never forget that experience, because there are so few people in the world who ever get to truly accomplish their dream, right? Their ultimate dream that they have. And that's what this is for these guys. Is like, being able to win TI is the ultimate dream, because it's an insane accomplishment for your career, right? Because the competition level is so high. But then on top of that, you've just won a life-changing amount of money. You don't have to worry about those things for the rest of your life. So that combination means that, like, the pressure is incredibly high, and I just don't know what those guys do after winning a TI. Like, I'm sorry, but like sex, drugs, like nothing could probably compare to like that peak that they got,
Well, it was tough. Well, specifically the TI you're talking about too. I mean, there was some incredible storylines from that one specifically, especially with OG that won, because wasn't that the year that was it Fly?
Yes.
Yes,
that
left
was...
OG before it happened, right?
Yeah,
and went to Evil Geniuses. That was the fucking the look, that no tail, that the meme, where he's looking at. That was actually amazing. That whole event was awesome. But obviously, like you said, like, fuck, man. Like, I don't know how No Tail came back and won another one. I mean, the man literally has his own mansion now that he could just have everybody practice at if he wants. Like, I don't know where his drive comes from. I think I would just probably give up and just do nothing for the rest of my life if I even won one.
I know, that's a wild thing.
Ridiculous.
I did an post-game interview with him recently. I was blown away. I could just feel it. He was like a tiger. And when I was talking to him about, like, how do you keep up this competitive drive? Like, you've won 2 TIs. Like, you're the first to be able to do that. You did it back to back. On top of that, like, why are you still playing? Like, what are you playing for? And he just has that innate drive to, like, be the best, and it's keeping him going even still. And that's just kind of insane.
That's surprising. Yeah. You think they could win a third one?
Yeah, I mean, I will never put it past them. I don't think them in their current form can win a TI again. But
they don't have what's his name, right? Fuck, what's his
Anna.
name?
They don't have Anna.
Anna.
Anna's like, he's Weapon X, man. Like, you have to have that guy for TI. But he'll come back, and I'm sure he'll reclaim his summer job at some point in time. That's everyone's got to have a summer job when they're a kid, right? And his just happened to be where he shows up and plays Dota for a month and wins millions of dollars. So,
I mean, doesn't that suck for the 5th guy that just keeps getting replaced by him, though? Just like, oh yeah, Anna, come replace this dude again. We need to win another TI, and she's like, fuck, he's gone. This my job. I was gonna win millions of dollars, and now I can't. Like, fuck, that's probably tough, dude.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it was kind of a revolving door after they won that first TI and Anna went and took a break. It's like they couldn't find the same kind of success without him. And so they were just kind of like cycling through players until, next TI shows up. They bring Anna back. And, And like that kid is so smart. He has a passion for Dota that isn't ever going to be burnt out if he just only shows up for TIs.
Yeah, I mean, but I guess the problem is people could potentially get better than you. But I guess if you're just like a freak of nature, just esports legend, you don't really need to. Which, I mean, like, I guess if you think about it, Anna's already kind of gone through the ringer in terms of what he had to deal with. He had that, like, what is it, his agent or somebody that fucked him over and tried to sue him or something originally. And then, obviously he's from is it New Zealand or is he from Australia? But like,
Australia.
The fact that he's even became a top player even from Australia is absurd, considering that Dota is probably not even like one of their top 5 games. Maybe it is top 5 game in Australia, but even that, and then the region's small on top of that. Like the amount of shit that like we talked about in NA, you think that somebody in NA that has a small scene, there's no way somebody from Australia could win TI, right? Like that in itself is stupid. But I mean, I don't know. I guess it was possible. But shit, hey. Cap, thanks for coming on, dude. It was awesome talking to you, dude, because like I said, I love Dota. And obviously I'm really interested in you because obviously when you had hair, now that you have no hair, obviously, I respect you less, obviously, right? But
viewers, just imagine, Dustin's hair and then put it on mine. It was basically the same.
It's the same white guy hair. Yeah, we got the same shit, dude. But hey, at least you have a beautiful skull. And
yeah, exactly.
Do you have anything you want to my skull? Do you have anything you want to plug before we let you go, Cap?
Oh no, I'm good. I mean, if you enjoyed listening to me, just follow me on Twitter at Capcast. Other than that, I mean, if you happen to be a agent or a producer or director in LA, I'm a voice actor. Hire me, but like
maybe could happen one of these days. We'll have to bring you back when hopefully if the show grows and we can talk about Dotes again, dude. So thanks for coming, Cap. I appreciate it, dude. We'll see you later.
All right,
dude. Oh my god. I just fucking can't believe it, dude. Just Dota in itself is ridiculously tough to play and compete in, dude. Oh my god,
I can't imagine trying.
No, I mean that's why I love Dota and that's why I like watching it so much is because of the fact that it's just like such a difficult esport to compete in. There's nothing else like it. It just really isn't. Unmatched, unparalleled. But you know what is unmatched and unparalleled?
Mappa's animation. I'm gonna go watch this right after the show's over.
What are you talking about? What's out?
Anime.
Oh, more anime? No, but is it Jobless Reincarnation?
No, it's Jujutsu.
Oh, no, Jujutsu. Oh, okay, all right, fair. But listen, Jujutsu's good, but listen, once shows get overhyped, bro, I just can't. Like, it's a good show, but it's overhyped. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing that happened with fucking Demon Slayer, bro. Like, just chill out. What's things to become popular?
You just don't like things that are hyped.
Exactly, but I still love Jujutsu Kaisen. I just don't think it's as amazing as everybody says it is right now. I thought it was amazing when it came out, and then everybody else was like, "Oh, it's amazing." It's like I fucking said it was amazing first, man. What the hell, bro? Unbelievable.
True hipster.
Anyway, I'm a hipster. On that note, thanks for coming to the show today, guys. This is the weekend. It's fucking Friday. Daniel's gonna play a clip, apparently of me trying to mimic Steve Blum. Boy. So I guess we'll see. It's a Toonami special. Maybe, hopefully, I can't hear it. And I hope you mute the audio. I recommend you mute the audio. See you guys next Monday. What is it? Month number 3 of the Dusttin Bowerman Show. We'll talk next month. We'll see if we moved over to Twitch. I'll let you guys know next Monday if we move over to Twitch. But make sure you check out that interview on Spotify. We have a Spotify in the description. Also, thank you to huge shout out to Siren for making that, first of all. And then everybody else behind the screen, Samantha and Toberto for being awesome. But myself, Anthony, and Max suck massive ween. And on that bombshell, see you guys next Monday. Bye-bye.
Yeah, but if you watched Redo, if you
well, don't say that. You just outed yourself as a fucking degenerate to the highest degree, man. Anthony.
This is Toonami's final broadcast. It's been a lot of fun, and we'd like to thank each and every one of you who's made this journey along with us. Toonami wouldn't have been anything without you. Hopefully, we left you with some good memories. So, until we meet again, stay gold. Bang.